As you might know, I had to make a sudden change in my home life. Due to what is likely a structural issue, mold had begun growing in my apartment. The sad part is that the mold was coming through the floor right under my bookcase, and unbeknownst to me, it had been spreading up the side and back, even into the lower shelves. Most of my books were ruined, a collection which I had slowly formed over the course of half my life. It broke my heart to say goodbye to my beloved books, pieces of my history. But I am thankful to be in a new place. It's clean, it's safe, and it's comfortable for Bear and me. I haven't quite settled in yet, for the move happened so fast. I feel a little disoriented, catapulted from one home into a strange one, but at least I am still in the same town. With spring quickly spreading over the mountains, I am trying to embrace this change by bringing bits of spring into my home. Soon I can start planting a little garden for my patio. I get mostly shade during the day, so any plant recommendations would be very welcome. In the midst of this change and my fresh awareness of how much I loathe change, dreams of a more permanent home have been on my heart more lately. I was reminded of a quote from Tolkien's Book of Lost Tales. Speaking of one of the main characters, Tolkien described him as being one who had been restless all his life, as if a longing, half expressed, for unknown things dwelt within him. I resonate with that feeling so much, for I too carried deep longings for a life I couldn't express until the last few years. I've been slow at finding my way, at knowing where I belong and what kind of life I was made for. I haven't reached it yet, but I am hoping that I will come home to that dream someday. Since home has been on my mind a lot the past week, I decided to paint an imaginative rendering of the home of one of my favorite, albeit mysterious, characters from The Lord of the Rings. Tom Bombadil has always fascinated me, probably because I love a good mystery, and not even Tolkien himself could fully explain Tom Bombadil's origin and nature. But when imagining what Tom Bombadil's house might look like, I did some digging into what I knew about his character. When telling the hobbits about himself, he says he is the eldest. Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He knew the dark under the stars when it was fearless, before the Dark Lord came from outside. From observing him in the books, Tom seems to possess a power over nature. He speaks an iambic pentameter, which makes me wonder if he somehow possesses abilities similar to the Ainur, the ones who sing the great music at the creation of Middle-earth with a levitar. He has an authority over other creatures, such as Old Man Willow and the Barrow-wights. However, it also doesn't seem quite right to say that he has power over nature either. The ring itself has no power over him, nor is he moved by its import. It's as if power as a concept has no value to him. He acts like a gardener over his domain, cultivating it and shaping it without force. Whenever he does resist darker forces, it's merely with the sound of his voice speaking poetry. There's another line in the Book of Lost Tales that reminds me of Tom, though I have no evidence to connect him with it. There's a cottage early on in the book called the Cottage of Lost Play. and it is described as being a place where old tales, old songs, and elfin music are treasured and rehearsed. This description could easily be of Tom's house, for when the four hobbits stayed there with him in The Lord of the Rings, they feasted and made merry and listened to hours of marvelous tales. Because of these aspects of Tom's personality, I felt that his house would not resemble an ordinary house in which raw materials are altered in the traditional ways. The idea came to me that he would perhaps be most at home in a house within a tree, a home that was a part of nature rather than intrusion into it. Being not much bigger than hobbits, he would be able to make such a home work quite well for him, and a marvelous house within a tree conveys that here lives a person who is at home in nature, who makes use of it without scouring it, and yet is lord over it in ways that are hidden from first glance. I'd love to hear your theories about Tom Bombadil if you have any. He's an endearing yet mysterious character for sure. Perhaps one day I'll find myself living in a little house in the woods too. A cottage of lost play, where at the hour of eve, at which the kindling of candles takes place, you might find me enjoying old tales, old songs, and creating art that aspires to elfin beauties. Wherever you make your home, I hope you have a lovely day or night. I will see you next time. Bye.